These little groups of elephants are usually only bulls. It is generally made up of 3 or 4 individuals, 1 or 2 of them young, learning animals, whilst the other are the traditionally old, classic Savuti bulls, the guys who have seen the water flowing in the channel before, the guys who became resident in Savuti, reliant on the water that was provided by the wildlife department. Carmine bee-eaters follow them as they move through this grassland. They are also summer migrants, moving in when the rains come. They find cliffs and shelters where they can nest and breed, their sole purpose for being in this region at this time. They follow these animals hovering and moving and picking up all the insects that are scared out by these beasts. They really are the most incredibly equipped flyers. When they take to wing, they are agile and incredibly fast. Their eyesight and their processing as they go about this activity must be incredibly fast. The breeding is complete, and soon they'll be heading north. Many of the individuals that you can see are rather dull in color and are clearly youngsters from this past season, immature carmines that are getting ready for their first big trip north. The bulls on the Savuti Marsh is one of the most spectacular sights one can see in Africa. The combinations of short grass and a big flat area, incredibly large storm skies moving past in the background, and that late afternoon light with these bulls is one of the most incredible experiences one can imagine. And moments like this make me realize what makes Africa such an amazing continent.
I don't know what kind of tree this is, but it is currently laden with flower buds, and these stump-tailed macaques are systematically pulling them off with apparent relish. I've never seen this species before, but it is quite clearly identifiable from the other macaques in having a very short, barely noticeable tail and a longer coat of dark brown fur. And some of the individuals have a reddish face. Surprisingly, given the acrobatics that they clearly show here, this species usually forages on the ground. Their food normally consists of seeds, fruit, flower buds, and even small animals, including insects. The stockier males are easy to spot, and as the food began to thin out, a few squabbles erupted amongst them. After just a few minutes, though, most of the best buds had been stripped away, and the group began to move off, leaving a couple of stragglers to pick over what was left.
What really fascinated me about Purmen was the people. Most of them hadn't changed much. They'd stayed the same, like their forefathers hundreds of years ago. It was refreshing to see this, and there was a man that was pushing his boat towards us with a pole. He had a catch on his boat which his whole family helped him to unload. These shells they dig up from beneath the sand, and they are a common food in their diet. There were quite a few bags of them. This catch was probably supper for tonight, but we followed them to see what would happen next. They were triangular-shaped looking shells, which the whole family was helping to wedge into the ground. Next, grass was laid over the clams and then set alight. I could feel the heat of the fire from a few meters away, and there was a little boy looking on as the smoke bellowed in front of him. The shells smoldered in the fire in front of me, and soon the boys were tasting the catch with big smiles. We also got to taste the shellfish, and surprisingly, they were really quite delicious.